All right, so we got some breaking. Well, this news broke hours and hours ago, but the daughter of Malcom X was found dead in her apartment in Brooklyn, and she was found by her daughter. And immediately, the way that they have framed this whole, from all these articles, they've all put found dead. Somebody even put found dead days after men were exonerated. So it's like there's almost a slight and small, subtle implication that there is some foul play happening. But then at the same time in the article they say the death does not appear suspicious, while framing it like something happened. But usually they have put found dead in titles before, but sometimes they just say, hey, they passed away or they died. But yeah, she apparently was found by her daughter. Don't know what happened. I mean, you can't say it was like somebody killed her or anything because you just don't know. It could be just natural causes, which is what it is sometimes, just natural causes. Maybe, whatever happened to them. But yeah, this is crazy because, or not crazy, but ironic because this happens days after these men were exonerated. In the case of Malcom X, because they were the assassination of Malcom X. They were arrested and charged with his killing back in 1965, and now new evidence comes to light 57 years later that there was FBI cover-up, mishandling of evidence, and that's not shocking because people have speculated for years that the FBI had something to do with the assassination of Malcom X. Because back then, the civil rights leaders who today are celebrated, even nationally, they're celebrated. At that time, many of them were seen as radicals, enemies of the state. Like Malcom X, for example, he was seen as somewhat of a radical by the things he was saying. And that did not sit well with many in America. And especially with the FBI, who also tried to get Martin Luther King to kill himself. Yeah, they weren't on the government's good side a good portion of that time. There were a lot of racist people within the government who did not want to see any advancement, and the only way that things really happen is after the assassinations of both Malcom X and then a few years later Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy at the same time. The 60s was just a very chaotic decade overall. Once it got to 1968, 69, there was riots happening. It was just a very, we're on the verge of an uprising type time. That's when things finally, went through. The civil rights legislation got passed, all that stuff. And, but yeah, it takes extreme political pressure and extreme pressure for things to change, which it shouldn't be that way. So yeah, his daughter passed away. Rest in peace to her, Malikah Shabazz, at the age of 56. And going forward, I don't know if they're gonna say any more on the situation. Family may or may not, but I don't think anybody killed or anything. Which I really shouldn't be making a statement on anything like that, or causing speculation. But it could be natural causes. So rest in peace to her. And yeah, I'm glad that the new information has come about, but it still leaves a lot of questions about Malcom X's assassination that may or may not ever get answered. It's always years and years later. A lot of the people who were involved with that are probably dead now, or at least really, really old. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy, but that's how it is. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, like, whenever you do it, however you want to do, wherever you do it, just do it. It's your boy Red X Black, and I'm out. Peace.